Hello there, and welcome to the Marketing SOS Show. My name is Eric E., and I'm wondering, what do you use to market? What strategies, what tactics do you find effective? What's in your marketing tool belt? Now, I know a lot of the tools that we kind of see over and over online and recommended to us are always digital. Facebook ads, Google ads, social media marketing ads, search engine marketing, content marketing, SEO. Those are the top ones that you always see over and over again. Now, I think a lesser known one that you don't see as much, but it is prevalently used quite a bit outside of the digital marketing space, is leveraging the press or getting public relations or media relations. Now, I'm not sure why this one doesn't get used as much, perhaps because it's more difficult to measure and there's no clear line between effort and money coming in. But nonetheless, it's definitely one that you should try to use and take advantage of because, like they always say, any publicity is good publicity. And so that's what we're going to learn a little bit more about today when we're talking with a PR director who needs some help getting his company covered. And we'll get to his story just after this. So Adam writes, "Hi Eric, I'm a PR director for a small contracting company that has invented a new type of technology that has been patented by the business owner. I am doing a lot of the marketing, and I really want to take this project to the next level by getting some media attention. I am thinking about just going down the list of stations and asking for a meeting in person with them, or for them to consider a short story about our new technology. What are some of the things I could say that would push them in the right direction of featuring us? I would greatly appreciate any advice as I am desperately trying to be good at my job and social media isn't really giving us amazing results like we thought we would be getting. Thank you, Adam." Well, Adam, I can definitely help you out with this. And one thing I'm wondering, you are a PR director. I would assume someone that is a PR director would have a Rolodex of media contacts and maybe some pre-existing relationships. And for anyone who doesn't know what a Rolodex is, when you see those movies from the 70s or 80s, 90s, maybe even early 2000s, there's a business guy and on his desk he has this weird little box that he flips open. And there's a bunch of cards on a wheel that he spins and he takes one out. On that card is usually someone's contact name, their name, their email address, their phone number. Well, probably in the 70s and 80s, no email address, maybe even the 90s. But that's what a Rolodex is. You roll it and you got contacts info right there. So yeah, as a PR director, you should have a huge list, or at least a well-established list of media contacts and be on friendly terms with them. Now, I'm not sure where you're at in your career, so you may not have that. So that's definitely something you should start building career-wise. And it's a really valuable thing to have because those are your contacts. You can take them from job to job with you. It's your relationships. The first thing you should do is don't reach out to them yet. The reason being is that you need to warmly introduce them to your company, yourself, your story, and have as much information prepared ahead of time as you possibly can. This way you're not answering the same questions to every contact that you're reaching out to. So put together a press release. Now, Google what a press release looks like, but it essentially kind of follows this format. There's a title, there's a date, and there's a few paragraphs in there. Now, the paragraphs will essentially be the company announcing or broadcasting a new story or what they want to announce. So in this case, ABC Company is excited to announce the invention of a new technology that's going to do X, Y, and Z. Save more lives, increase the efficiency of whatever. I'll leave that to you. You may include some quotes there from your CEO or from other people in the organization or from industry stakeholders that can comment on how significant your new technology is. And then at the bottom, you can include some basic information on your company, what the technology is, etc. All of this is background information that someone in the media can quickly use to help pitch or build a story. So they know who your company is. They know more about it because that's brief paragraphs. They know why it's important. Put together a press release. The next thing you can do is put together a media kit. Now, this is similar to the press release. It kind of usually follows a press release, but it answers basic questions about the tech, answers questions about the company, maybe some additional information about the company, additional information about the CEO. You can include things in here like photos that have already been taken, company logos, anything that someone may ever want to need or use. So you got to think about it as if you were a radio host, a blog writer, what sort of things are you going to need to edit and publish your story? So the radio hosts, they're going to need information that they can talk about. Whereas a blog writer may want some assets like photos or logos, different things like that they could use, specs. Depending on what the technology is, and depending on your company, try to give them as much background information or information that would be interesting to them. Don't bog them down in too much detail. Just give them what they need to know. Now, the reason you don't want to give them too much detail is you want them focused on delivering the message you want them to get. So make sure the material that you're sending them conveys exactly what you want them to write about or cover, as well as in the tone and the angle you want them to cover. And don't give them any additional information that can have them going down other channels. And you should reach out to people in your company as well and see if they'd be willing to speak to reporters either on the radio, on camera, on the phone, so that way you can offer that to media partners. Give them some additional flavor for their coverage. It's one thing to report on a story, but if you can get actual speaking heads and stakeholders talking about it, that just makes the story better. Now, as a PR director, you should also be ready to speak on camera. If I'm hiring a PR director, it's so that you will be doing most of the day-to-day touch bases with the media, and only if you think it's worth elevating to like the CEO level or to another stakeholders level, then should they be engaged. But one thing you should really look at too is getting media training done for these people that might speak on camera, including yourself. I'll get a list of all the outlets you can reach out to. So like your local outlets. So your local news, your local radio stations, magazines, industry magazines in your area, like the local business magazine, local blogs, those local third-party blogs as well that aren't affiliated with the newspapers, but they all kind of operate like a third-party news agency in different cities. Contact them or get a list of them. Look at it at state level. Look at it nationally. Look at even just like industry websites, blogs, podcasts, magazines, trade publications. Get a big list. It's now time for you to start building your list of all your contacts and establishing relationships with them. They might not cover you now, but in the future you might need to use them. So start getting warm relationships with them now. Now that you're reaching out to all these publications, you should tailor your pitch to each of them. For example, if you're reaching out to like a national trade publication to cover your new technology, they don't care about the pitch you use to pitch your local news about a new entrepreneur in the Detroit area who has developed new technology. They don't care about a local interest piece, but they may care about a new revolutionary piece of technology that could shake up the industry. So that's what I'm kind of saying. Look at the different ways that you can tailor your story, to tailor your company, to tailor the technology, to create different stories or different angles for each of these publications. And it can always be like, always look for a unique twist that may be intriguing to them. Some of them may be interested in like a human interest piece as well. So how it affects people on an individual one-on-one level as opposed to like a big macro industry-wide level. Like, will it change lives? Who or what does it affect? Why is it special? So think of all this when you're putting together your, let's call it, for lack of a better word, your pitch package. So email these reporters or writers, bloggers, and don't be over pitchy. Like, don't be overselling it, but structure it in a way that you are kind of sharing a story that they might be interested in. Don't go overboard on the details. Make them come back to you to get the more details. If they're interested in learning more, then you can send over the press release and media kit. Even offer them an exclusive interview with specific time slots with whomever you have at your company, like yourself. Another thing you should do when you're kind of figuring out which writer to contact at different publications, ensure that the angle that you're using and the new technology makes sense with the reporter you're reaching out to for coverage. If it's like a life-saving medical technology, your local lifestyle reporter might not be the best fit unless you have a really good pitch that would appeal to them. Like, look at tech reporters, business reporters, local business reporters, and other industries that get covered by specific people your new technology affects. If you have any testimonials or customers who have benefited from your product, perhaps if you're on really good terms with them, ask if they'd be willing to be interviewed as well, or be quoted in your press release if you think that makes sense with your audience. Now, after this initial back and forth through email, it's time to try to transition those contacts into a phone call or a personal meeting to explore things further and take it from there. So Adam, that was a brief and kind of high-level overview about how to do PR, how to structure things, how to reach out to people. And, as you get going and as you get more experience dealing with the media and the public in different industries, from like your local level to national publications or big websites, blogs, you're going to tailor your approaches differently to each one. You're going to learn the ins and outs of how each one likes to be spoken to and corresponded with. So this is a very loose guidelines, but you should take it and mold it for yourself and use this going forward in your career with how to use the media to your advantage to get more coverage. Because ultimately what you want to do is get coverage for your company to A, raise the awareness of your company, raise its profile in different industries, in different geographical areas, and B, hopefully the coverage gets you more profits, gets you more sales, gets people looking at your product that otherwise wouldn't have been exposed to it. Now, I know in the past, for listeners out there that have listened to past episodes, I have touched on contacting your local media or the press in some way. So I wanted to kind of explode this out and give some more details on how you can exactly do that and why it would be beneficial. Now, like I kind of alluded to at the top of the show, PR is one distinct discipline and one tool that you should have in your marketing tool belt, along with all the digital and traditional marketing tactics that you have. I think it comes down to you figuring out when to deploy it and when to deploy other strategies and what really is going to work for any specific situation. And with that, thank you so much for your time. I truly do appreciate it. And I would also love it if you could give me a rating or a comment on whatever platform you're using to listen to podcasts, Apple iTunes, Stitcher, Spotify, whatever it is. Any kind of feedback would mean the world to me and help me keep doing this show going forward. So thank you in advance for that. Thank you for listening, and we will talk again soon.